Welcome to 1001, an album odyssey, where each week 5 friends bring you 5 albums from the book. 1001 albums you must hear before you die. We don't choose the albums. Each weekday, a new album from the book is emailed to all 5 of us. We listen to them, we talk about them, and then we bring them to you right here, right now. This week, we've got Bossanova by the Pixies. Dig Your Own Hole by, that's what their kids are calling it these days, by the Chemical Brothers. Megadeth's Rust in Peace, Ashes 1977, and Odelay by Beck.
Odelay.
Let's get into it.
Thanks, Nash. That was Cecilia Ann, the opening track of Bossanova, the 1990 release, the Pixies' 3rd studio album. And that was an instrumental track and a cover. So why don't we listen to a little of the original by the Surf Tones? Does anyone want to take a guess when that was recorded?
1943.
1953. 1973.
It was actually recovered in 1988.
Shut up.
It was,
no, I would not have guessed that.
2 years before the Pixies covered it, which is kind of weird. I mean, it was released on a surf rock compilation in the UK. Called It Came From the Beach, Surf Drag Rocking Intros from Downey Records. And the compilation featured songs from the 50s, 60s, as well as a few from the 70s and 80s. So I don't know. I mean, up to this point, the Pixies had only recorded their own material. I mean, this is their 3rd album, Bossanova, but the first 2 and the EP prior, they had never done a cover. And most of the songs were penned by their frontman, Frank Black, or as his pen name at the time, Black Francis. So why now on their 3rd studio release did they start with a weird instrumental surf track written and recorded just 2 years prior? I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest sort of difference was Bossanova was released, or not released, it was made in California. The band had moved to Los Angeles, California. And up to that point, the Pixies had lived and recorded in Boston, Massachusetts. But following their UK tour for Doolittle, their previous LP, they moved to California. And I think it's sort of a way of Frank Black to sort of playfully tell his fans, it's a new chapter for the Pixies. It's sort of a surfy California, SoCal, I don't know, a little bit of that pop vibe. But, you know, this is before Quentin Tarantino's 1999 Pulp Fiction, or 1994 Pulp Fiction release that sort of revitalized surf rock with Dick Dell and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and listen to the 2nd track on Bossanova titled Rock Music. Thank you, Nash. Yeah, so right away, Frank Black sort of just lets us know, nope, there's that harsh post-punk sound that the Pixies are known for. So they still have that. And that's throughout the album, even though there is some more pop sort of more polished songs. In fact, Frank Black on his debut solo album, which was released about 3 years after Bossanova, he sort of did another semi-surf rock cover of Brian Wilson's classic, Hang On to Your Ego. Why don't we just listen to that? It's such a great song. So another sort of tongue-in-cheek statement for his solo album, his ego. But back to Bossanova, the Pixies. Let's hear a. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up here. Back to Bossanova. Let's hear a little of the track of the band's first single off the album, Velouria.
Theremin in there?
What did you say?
Is that theremin or is that musical stuff?
I think it is. I think it's a theremin. I didn't pay as close attention to the technical side when I was doing my research, but I do think it is that. Velouria was the Pixies' first top 40 hit in the UK. And the song is a love song that Frank Black wrote, and is
time
rooted,
to wake up, dude.
It's rooted in a relationship he had with a member of the ancient mystical order of the Rosy Cross, or the Rosicrucians, which I never knew about the Rosicrucians. Did any of you know about?
I've heard the name.
Yeah, they're a fraternal order in the mystical Western esoteric tradition. And they were founded by Harvey Spencer Lewis in 1904 in San Jose, California. And there's actually a lyric in the song, I Can See the Tears of Shasta Sheen. And it's a reference to the Rosicrucians' belief that there's a lost continent, Lemuria, that was sunk off in the ocean, off in the Pacific. And the survivors lived inside Mount Shasta. So there's all these references in the song to sort of that order and that belief. It's kind of interesting. We're going to skip past Allison, which is a great song, and we're going to go to one of my favorite tracks on the album, Is She Weird?
You're mine. Is she weird? Is she white? Is she promised to the night? And her head has no room. Is she weird? Is she white? Is she promised to the night?
Thanks, Nash. That was another track Black penned about a past relationship, and there's themes of jealousy, obsession, and it's pretty intense, but perhaps not as intense as one of my all-time favorite Pixie songs, Down to the Well. Let's listen to a little. Another one of Black's dark love songs that taps into a deep sort of primal place. It supposedly is one of the first songs that the Pixies recorded and played together as a band. So I don't know. I think when you listen to it, you can sort of hear that. I don't know. Just they've played it so many times that the song almost speaks for itself. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but you know, when you hear a band that they've played a song a lot, there's either I think they're tired of it, or they try to make it, powerful and new. And I think the Pixies do a pretty good job of doing that. And in fact, I'd like to listen to, they did 2 years prior, they recorded a version with John Pill for the BBC, or a year prior, sorry, with John Pill for the BBC. Nash, can we listen to a little of that version of Down to the Well?
Baby always knows, baby always tells. She laughing desperately. She said it felt like forever inside her bones.
And let's just go ahead and listen to that last sample there, Nash.
I can hardly wait till we go down to the wind. Down to the wind.
Thank you. I really like the emotional depth to that song and his vocals. I know it's not for everyone, but I think it's captured really well in that stripped down version. Bossanova, it's definitely not one of my favorite Pixies albums, but there is a lot of gold on it. And especially, I think, for Down to the Well and Is She Weird? I mean, it's not something I sleep on. For me, the more I was playing it, the more I was listening to it, the more I was sort of dissecting the lyrics, the more I enjoyed it and got into it. But I am going to give it a 3.9. And let's go in order. What do you think, Jake?
First of all, I think you did a great job breaking it down. You chose some really amazing clips, and I mean those were the standouts. And that deep dive. I mean, you're very detail oriented. Unlike my deep dives, you actually get into the details.
Get into some good details. Come on now.
All right. Well, thank you. But the cover, I mean, come on, we got to talk about this cover.
Yeah.
It's what I think is cool when you look at it. It took me a second to kind of figure out what the fuck was happening, but it kind of turns the band into their own little solar system. And you have sort of all these other things orbiting and glowing around that planet. It feels, I don't know, sci-fi, right? Kind of fragmented, and it mirrors how the album feels, right? It's structured. It's structured on the surface, but it's definitely totally strange when you start looking underneath.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that surf vibe on the album, and I totally agree. I think it just reminds me of, like you're driving down the California coast, but something's not quite right, and and I feel like that's exactly the point of the album. It just feels a little bit awkward at times, which is not a bad thing. I give the album 3 stars, mainly because it's not anything that really makes me feel something really passionately, and it's not one I'm going to go back to time and time again. So, my rubric is broken, I know, but yeah, 3 stars.
All right. Jordan, what do you say?
All right, my go. Well, first I'll start off with my rating real quick. I'm going 3.5 stars. I really, am a big fan of the Pixies, but it's probably a little more limited than a true fan would probably be, because it's Surfer Rosa and Doolittle are for me, great albums, amazing. And because they kind of had 4 albums, right? When they're in their original lineup, they had that, then they had the Trompe Le Monde, right? And I only like 2 of them, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, the EP is sort of an album.
Come on, Pilgrim, with the hairy back guy. Yeah, I like that one quite a bit too. So I had those 3, and those were the things I was always listening to. And this is one I heard it way back in the day, kind of sampled it, and was just like, no, and it just didn't click for me at all. I have to say I appreciated it a lot more this time around, and I like Jake's analysis of something's just not quite right. It just, nothing really kind of stands out. And I feel like a lot of the songs just all sort of blend together in a way that it's not distinctive. But when you broke it down and you were, pulling out some of those samples, it kind of sparked my interest, and I feel like it's something I probably have to go back to. So 3.5, but I
You're
think
going to study Rosicrucians.
Oh, speaking of that, like, sorry, what did you? There might have been historical inaccuracy. When did you say it was founded?
Oh God.
I believe, let's see, I'd have to consult my notes, what I wrote down. 1904
'Cause
is
I
what
saw
I read,
that it
by
went back
Harvey
to the-
Spencer Lewis.
Well, that might have been a particular sect because it looks like it goes back centuries, and it was like a
Really?
secretive society. Yeah, the
Yeah, I
Catholic
think,
Encyclopedia
actually,
had like the 15th century.
I think you're exactly right. I think he did the sect in California.
Yeah.
I think there are older ones in France, but they don't consider him like an actual.
It's a splinter group.
Yeah, it's like a splinter, and they don't respect it. So
right.
you know.
Yeah, because anyway, but it's like Rose and Cross put together. Rosicrucian. Interesting. Anyway, done with that. Thanks.
All right,
Well, that was fun.
Mike.
Yeah, I also appreciated your breakdown, Chuck. I'm not a huge Pixies fan, but some of the things I liked about the other albums that were already mentioned weren't in this one. And I think you said it at one point, Chuck, that, polish doesn't always make things better. And I feel like this album was slightly more polished than other Pixies material that I had heard. And then I'm a big harmonies sucker. So who's the girl?
Yeah,
Jim Deal.
Yeah, I
100% agree with you.
She was definitely missing from this one. And I like space, but I'm not too into like sci-fi space. So those themes weren't my biggest thing. But I still overall appreciated it, especially certain songs. I think you highlighted my favorites. I gave it a 3.6.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
Ryan, what do you think?
Well, you guys were the ones who introduced me, you and Jordan, to the Pixies, and I just drove up the one like we did when you guys were playing that the first time I heard it. And so I was kind of reminded of that and was listening to it a little bit, but this album didn't appeal to me either. I give it a 3.2, but it's got elements of Frank Black that I don't really like, and I watched that documentary about those guys, and boy, they're annoying people. So
Was it the one that was made like 10, 15 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
It was funny. Is that the one where the drummer wouldn't stop playing and they were just like what are you doing?
Yeah, just everything
And he was doing
about
magic shows on the side.
them. They're just juvenile kids. It seemed like it, even Frank Black. I got a turn off on the whole deal, but I still like Surfer Rosa and the other one.
Doolittle, yeah.
Yeah, Doolittle, yeah. So yeah, there you go.
All right. Thank you.
Did you
guys.
give it? What'd you give it, Ryan?
3.2, I think.
Yep, a 3.2.
3.2.
It's
Solid.
Excellent. Moving on to something completely different. Digging Your Own Hole. No, just Dig Your Own Hole by the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, no, the kids are not saying that.
It's not a
They
mob
are.
film.
Stop digging your own hole.
No, the kids don't. No one
Get out of
says
the
that.
bathroom.
So, Jake, do you
start
dig your
digging
hole?
own hole?
I dig my hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dig all of them. Yeah.
Let's go into
let's-
depth.
Let's move on. Let's move on. This is going south really fast, and I haven't even started. Oh my gosh. Dig Your Own Hole. The Chemical Brothers coming at you from 1997. I love this album. I love the Chemical Brothers, thanks to Ryan. Let's not even mess around tonight. Let's get a quick taste of what this album's all about with our first sample.
Back with another one with the block rocking beat. Back with another one with the block rocking beat.
Yeah, this is the album's signature track and actually helped them to win a Grammy. So, yeah, there's that.
Wow.
Grammy award-winning The Chemical Brothers. Instantly recognizable bass line. I mean, you just, as soon as you hear it, you just know it. You can't help but bob along to it. It's got, the whole album is just pure energy. And this is just such a great way to kick off, to kick off the album, the gateway into the rest of the album. This track and the Chemical Brothers themselves really helped to define the big beat sound for the mainstream audience, and really helped to popularize this entire genre. The album and the Chemical Brothers themselves, they came before EDM festivals. They were before massive DJ headliners. This album helped define what electronic music could be. It's loud, it's aggressive, it feels psychedelic. I'm going to give you some tastes of that. And it's built like a rock album. All those things I can certainly appreciate. And on a personal level, I touched on Ryan introducing him to me, and it's true. I have so many good memories from this album and from the Chemical Brothers just themselves. But listening to them at parties at the Nebraska House, and in Ryan's old Chrysler on some trip somewhere, a trip both probably literally and chemically. And it definitely helped to spark my love for the genre itself. And, but there's a ton of different sounds on the album, and we're going to listen to a lot of them. You have what we just heard, Block Rockin' Beats, Setting Sun. The album really helped to create new trends. And so I'm a big fan of it. Happy to be able to break this one down. Our next sample features a guest singer, and I absolutely love this song. You listen to it and you tell me who you think this is. Setting Sun.
You're the devil in me, I brought it from the cold. You said your body was young, but your mind was very old. You're coming on strong and I like the way the visions we have are fading away.
Anybody have a guess?
I know.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Noel Gallagher.
That's Noel?
It's Noel.
It's not Liam?
himself.
No, it's the other brother.
It's the other brother.
I always thought it was Liam.
No.
He kind of sometimes has a better voice, I think.
I definitely think he does.
Right. There's a debate there somewhere,
weird
but
that they
we'll move on.
This week's album, or last week's album.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what you can hear right there, he's not really singing. Of course, it's really his vocals are really being used as that background track that really helps to set the tempo, which I thought was really cool. And I think introducing him into the song and into the album, it just added that additional layer with that rock crossover appeal, which helped it to hit number one in the UK. Of course, this is a UK band, but a great example of rock and electronic fusion. In my research, I did read that this song is often compared to the Beatles' "Tomorrow Never Knows" off of their Revolver album. You take a listen for yourself and tell me if you're hearing it.
Turn off your mind, relax and float downstream. It is not dying. It is not dying. Lay down all thoughts, surrender to
I mean, the still
I don't hear it.
Such a cool song. Anybody?
It's like Highway to the Danger Zone or something.
first thing that came to mind.
Man.
No, I could tell. Like, there's something in the beat and just kind of like, because that has sort of a breakbeat sound to it, and because of that drum loop that they had going on, and with that sort of kind of effect, processed vocal, for a better word. Yeah, I can see similarities.
Definitely.
I was just joking. I thought it was a direct sample.
I know. I mean, the drum beat is very, very similar, but
All right. Ryan, you have an opinion on this?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, they're
All right.
awesome.
All right. All right. Glad you're awake still. Well, let's talk about the background. Let's talk about the background a little bit before we jump into our next sample. Who the heck are the Chemical Brothers?
are they brothers?
They're not. This is a duo, Tom Rowlands and Ed Simmons. They met at the University of Manchester. And originally the band went by the name the Dust Brothers, but had to change that name due to U.S. producers.
That's
Boo.
interesting.
Which is going to come up later today.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Coincidence?
Right.
The Dust Brothers are?
Yes, they are.
Oh shit!
Beck.
Really?
No
Oh,
spoilers.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. So the Chemical Brothers, along with bands like or acts like the Prodigy, Fatboy Slim. I mean, all these guys really were coming up at the same time, and again, just really catapulted this genre into the mainstream. The Chemical Brothers, known for these massive live shows. Blending rock energy with electronic beats, heavy use of sampling, of course. Of course, super, super influential, as I've already said. So let's jump into our next track called and this is one of the more, intense tracks, I think, on the album. I really dig this one, but it's called Electrobank.
Awesome track.
I think so too. Yeah, it's just, the song just builds tension. The entire track is layered, of course, with synths and all kinds of drops and all craziness happening.
These are good speaker test type songs. All these songs.
Oh my God, you're right. Apparently, and I did not know this until I started to do a little bit of research, but this song is most known for the music video. It was
awesome.
Apparently some dude named Michael Gondry.
Michel Gondry?
Excuse me, Michel. Yes.
It's French.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. And if you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. I checked it out. This opens with this gymnast watching another floor gymnast doing her act.
Sophia's Cold
I
Music.
remember that.
Yeah, that's good.
That was a good video.
And this girl comes on. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. The crowd goes wild at the end. Oh, it's great.
The Russian coach.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what a great one. You guys have a great memory, unless you just watched it right now. So kudos to you and your memory.
Yeah, I was doing research to prepare for this for you.
Yeah, good.
Jake.
I'm glad you did.
I think it's probably one of my favorite videos of all time.
Really?
So,
Man. I really liked it too. I watched it several times.
I remember watching that and thinking, why can't all videos be like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Because then we'd have no up. That's why. Got to have the great stuff.
That's right. Let's listen to the next track. This is the title track and what I think is the centerpiece of the whole album, Dig Your Own Hole. Freaking love that song, man. It has a slightly darker tone. It feels a little bit more underground to me. But if nothing else, I kind of feel like it does a really good job of reinforcing the band's the album's identity. And it's got that gritty and self-made feel. It's rebellious. It just, I don't know. It sparked all those things for me. How was it recorded? Well, they just put a bunch of samples together and threw it in some production tools and did some layers and loops.
Wasn't it one of the first of the Pro Tools albums?
Yes, it was. Thank you for noticing that.
It really was.
I said that with confidence, right?
I
have no fucking clue, man. I'm going to say.
What year was it?
1997.
No, it would have been well past that.
All right. Well, sorry, you're wrong. It would have been well past that. But you can feel what they're doing with the loops and the samples and all the other craziness happening. The traditional
doohickeys.
What's that?
The doohickeys and the thingamabobbers.
The doohickeys and the thingamajigs and all that, and of course there's some traditional instruments going on there too. But what they end up creating through all that creativity is a big, loud, and physical sound. Yeah.
They used an old Atari ST computer.
That's kind of cool because we had those Ataris. Maybe not. I think they were the Amigas. But anyways, the fact that it was actually probably pretty new when I had that album in the Chrysler, because it would have been 97, 98.
Yeah.
That's kind of. I thought it was an older album for some reason, but it was brand new, basically.
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, you're on the cutting edge, right?
Well, for this, maybe.
Yeah. Well, take the kudos. I have two more samples that I'm going to illustrate for you here, and both of them are just killer. The first one is definitely my favorite track on the entire record. It's called "Lost in the K-Hole." I'll never get tired of that one. I wish we could just listen to the whole fucking thing. It's got that, of course, that sick bass line that just draws me in. It's so damn funky. I just love it. It's such a great track. It's one of the more experimental and trippy tracks on the record, I think. It's, I had to look this up, but the title, the title references a K-hole, which is...
Ketamine?
Yeah, it's a dissociative state often associated with ketamine use.
You should get a prescription.
Which is like horse tranquilizers, right?
No, it's a therapeutic medicine.
It's a therapeutic.
But it's the same as a horse tranquilizer.
I think the people.
it was very well or broadly used in the veterinary world. Before it was broadly used in the rave scene. That's not my alarm.
We're getting the cue here to move along. Yeah. So, but what I brought it up. I did. I was just fucking with you. I did bring it up. Thank you. But if I can add, what I like about that track too is it reminds me of the parallels between this track and psychedelics, and it has that gradual evolution, the intro, the builds, that looped vocal section, your idea, that one, the peak and the come down. I mean, it's really just such a freaking great song. I'm all about it. Now I need a cigarette.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Chemical Brothers, Dig Your Own Hole from 1997.
Gotcha. Okay.
Glad you're with us. Thanks for joining.
Your idea, what was that?
That's you may have just heard that in that sample that I just played. So, but anyway.
Are you in a K-hole right now,
Sorry,
Jake?
I went into the K-hole.
Someone's in a
description.
K-hole. Well, remember he was digging around in his holes. So.
That was Jake.
I love it, man. All right. And finally, the last sample is the album closer called The Private Psychedelic Reel.
Good headphone music, man.
Oh, for sure it is.
Sounds great.
Oh my God,
right
yeah,
now.
it does. That's the 9-minute long album closing curveball. Yeah, you heard me say the private psychedelic reel. Yeah, we just heard the more faster peaks of the track, but it also like deeper into it. It slows things down. It's more trippy. It's atmospheric. And yeah, it kind of feels like a come down after all the chaos. This song features live instrumentation. It's got some strings, some live drums, some keys in there. And frankly, probably one of their more underrated tracks. So anyway, that, fellas, is Dig Your Own Hole by the Chemical Brothers. I gave this album a very full 4 stars. Mike, take it away.
Well, Jake, thank you for that review. I don't know a lot about drugs, but I imagine that in the late 90s, if you had, some good ecstasy, then this album would sound really, really good.
Or just good speakers.
Yeah. Or a pulse.
Or both,
Yeah,
I guess.
or a pulse. Yeah. If you were breathing.
But I do appreciate this was probably one of the first albums that I remember listening to that was just, a whole piece, right? They segue into the different tracks. So it's more like a set of music. And I loved that about it. And just in general, I really, really like it. I don't think it has a lot of replay value, in my opinion, but I still appreciate what they did there. It's funny because I feel like Ryan was quite like distancing himself from the fact that he introduced all of this stuff to us. But anyway, I gave it a 4.
He's humble, dude.
2. Oh,
4.2.
4.2. Wow.
Oh, solid score from Mike.
Yeah, that is a good score.
All right. Well, we appreciate your feedback, Mike. Jordan.
thanks.
All right. Yeah. I have to say my favorite track on this one is Setting Sun. I really like that blend of, rock with the electronic music, and just Noel's vocals on that just nail it. And also Block, Rock, and Beat, like that was one. I kind of like the ones that are more vocally oriented, and because I hate EDM and I hate it. So this album, I do remember listening to this back in the day and kind of being drawn into it because it had a lot more of the rock vibe going on, and it made it a lot more palatable to me. Like with Mike, it doesn't have a lot of like replay value for me, but like I will put on, Setting Sun, like that song. I would just like put that in mixes and like, oh, that's a great song.
You mean you'd replay Setting Sun?
I would replay that song, listen to that song all the time. Love that song. So for me, on the whole, I would just give it a 4.
Okay, solid score.
Wow.
All right, and Chucky.
All right. Quick, small correction. Electrobank was directed by Spike Jonze.
Oh,
And
is that right?
I couldn't remember, but I remembered it starred his girlfriend, who later became his wife, who's now his ex-wife, Sofia Coppola, the director herself. And so, yeah, Spike Jonze.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Which has been on other episodes that we've talked about and been embarrassed about.
Yeah.
What, making mistakes?
Well, I made a mistake. I thought
No.
Spike Jonze
Spike Lee?
directed
The
another video. and he
17-year-old
didn't.
Sophia Coppola.
Oh, right.
Oh, no. That wasn't
That
Sofia
wasn't Sophia.
Coppola. That was
Scarlett
what's her
Johansson.
name?
Scarlett
Yeah,
Johansson,
ScarJo.
that's right. But she made that movie, right?
She did.
She did.
Yeah, Lost in Translation.
But-
Where's your bell, Jake?
I know.
But back to this album, I think it's got some of their best singles like on it for sure. But I agree with Mike. Like this is more of an album per se than like a lot of sort of EDM. But I do think like their follow-up album, I think Surrender. That's even better as far as like an album and I don't know. I really like
really
that
boring
album.
to me.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I like it a lot. But I think it's oddly enough, I think this album has some of their best songs. So for that, I'm giving it a 4.
Okay, thank you for that. And best for last, Ryan.
4.7. It's one of my
Thank you.
favorites. I would say that my dislike of vocals helps this. And you know what? I've been on a kick of listening to a bunch of Underworld and this type of stuff in the background while I'm working, and I really like the way it makes me kind of feel as I'm working. So, but it's got good vibes and it's got a good memory core to it too. Same thing. I love the memories of the Chrysler and stuff, and it is good to do speaker tests with.
So if you're in a coma, we should play you Chemical Brothers.
No, I think you should just play me some Leonard Cohen, and I'll just slip into the
I'm
light.
not doing that.
Oh, you like it darker?
So you're saying you like to listen to it when you're digging your own hole?
Well, I like to listen about anything, really.
Doesn't matter. All right. Thank you, Jake. Up next is Megadeth's Rust in Peace.
Rest in peace. Hi, everyone. This is Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Ryan? Hi.
Hi. So
The digging your own hole guy?
that's why I was distracted when Jake called me out earlier. You got to start with something. So I'm just going to play some stuff. You just don't think that's Megadeth. Turns out this guy, this lovely cat who built Megadeth, Dave Mustaine. Do you know where he started?
Metallica.
That's so wild to me. And he got kicked out of, or no, he quit Metallica when James Hetfield kicked his dog, apparently, and some substance abuse and stuff. Of course, there was drugs involved. Decided to make a band that was way better than Metallica, which I love that. Never really listened to much Megadeth, and I absolutely love this album. It's really funny. It's one of those things where it just kind of came out of the blue for me. So I'm going to just start this right at the beginning of the album, just how it launches off. I mean, if that doesn't get, you jumping around a little bit, you're dead. You might as well, or join a fucking priesthood or whatever you got to do.
It got me to stop looking at my hole, I'll tell you that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, you got to dig your hole more than look at it, bro. Anyway, so the point is, these guys...
You dig it your way, I'll do it mine.
Elton John. So they're from Los Angeles. It's got a very LA feel, of course. Very guitar based, a lot of double guitar bass, or double guitars, kind of dueling. Really good drummer, really good bassist, good sound overall. Kind of just they're wanky. Of course, their band's mascot is Vic Rattlehead. He's featured on this album cover. It's the guy that the weird eyes and the like Frankenstein-looking head and stuff. They're such a gimmicky band, it's ridiculous. But I find some pleasure in it. I don't. It's just something that came out of the blue for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I love that kind of surprise. It turns out his family was a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses too, which I think is funny because there's a lot of fascination.
It makes more sense
with that.
now.
Yes, exactly. So, anyways, I'm just going to play a bunch of songs, and we'll go from there. This is the Hangar 18. I like that breakdown. I like how they do their changes. They do a lot of tempo changes throughout the music. Here's one here. Really hardcore left turn on that one, and it's got some interesting stuff going on there. Yeah,
you as an aviation guy got to talk a little bit about Hangar 18, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a Hangar 18 vodka too, or something in there.
It's a climbing gym.
Is it a climbing gym? Mm-hmm. Oh. There's a lot of people that name things after hangars for whatever reason, it seems. Hangar 1, I know, is another one, too.
I think, isn't that where they think the aliens are?
In Hangar 18? I didn't know that.
Like that's on that explains the cover.
Yeah, the Air Force Base.
That was Area 54.
I don't know if it's Area 54. I think it's a different one, but like supposedly that's where they're keeping like the UFOs, Hangar 18.
Is that in or wherever the Area 54 is? I've actually been to that town. And it's an interesting little town.
I'm not sure.
But
I'd have to Google it.
It's all part of Area 51?
Mike's just going to keep saying that.
You mean Area 51? Is it Roswell or something?
Have you been there? Roswell? New Mexico?
What's the town that's next to the military base where they're...
Roswell's a different place completely.
Roswell's where the nuclear...
It's in Nevada.
Air Force Base.
Wright Patterson, yeah, but there is a town outside of that, right?
Mm-hmm. No, is that Roswell?
Maybe. Roswell's
they call the town
there.
Area 52.
Roswell, there was like a crash, and they supposedly...
But I think
it's Rachel, Nevada.
The Air Force Base next to it, I believe,
Area 51.
is Wright Patterson, where there's Hangar 18.
Come on, you gotta love that little bass part.
I know,
That
it's
was
cool.
sick.
And what I
Michael
did was
Solo.
I looped that part over and over again as a YouTube clip on Mike had sent the thing to the group with all the vocals removed. And basically, you'll notice most of my samples here have no vocals in them because that's clearly where I'm oriented. But I really like that little loop. This other song here, Five Magics. I was fascinated by how many different layers of music there is in it. You think of these guys as like hardcore, like always burning the barn down kind of shit, and that type of stuff settles in nicely. I like it. There's some of that dueling guitar stuff, which I really like, and just the clean sound of the bass. The bass has got a good line on it and everything. It's kind of got a Mozart-y like feel to it, you know. Like a lot of chord changes and different movements, and like I like that element. It's like introducing people that would never listen to that kind of music, I guess. What I like about that is it goes right into the vocals and then immediately into a wanking guitar lead. That's just fantastic. Usually that would be, I guess that's why people make fun of the music of the era, but I like it all of a sudden now. Great way to end a song. That's a good journey through the Badlands of Megadeth. I got one last little clip that's just a good way to light your hair on fire. I don't know. I think that there's some Van Halen in there and some stuff like that too. It's good music.
Well, personally, I've been looking for a really good like jam song to light my hair on fire to, and you really brought that one. So thank you.
So what's your rating,
You're
Jake?
welcome.
Oh yeah, I gave this album a 3 stars. It's not something that I'd go back to time and time again, but I love the speed and I love the technicality, and they just play it with precision. I think, but they don't just play fast either. It's also flawless. They're locked in. It's a good album.
Well, and they were on a lot of drugs. Apparently, somewhere in this pocket, one of them got what's his face got sober in it. Dave Mustaine in some pocket of this time frame. I don't know if it was before or after this album. I forget. There was like 20 albums, but he was definitely on a bender for a long time. Pissed a lot of motherfuckers off. He got kicked off of tours. Everything. He sounds like he's a fucking asshole, but. He kind of comes through in his music because he's like, I'm going to make the best band ever, and just got in his own way and tripped over his own dick. Obviously, he's very talented.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the lead singer?
That's the main guy, the main guitarist. I think it's the singer.
Guitarist.
Yeah, he's a singer.
What do you think, Mike?
I thought I appreciated all your clips without vocals, but we have to rate it with vocals. But yeah, I think nothing touches the technicality. It's something that I never would have listened to before this project, like so many other albums that we say. But just obviously super, super talented musicians. I love those bass licks, the dueling guitars, just sickness. I gave it a 3.9.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's impressive. Right on. Okay, so Jordan, you piped in with the wow. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I was just surprised Mike gave it that high of a rating. But for me, it's a 3.5. The music is awesome. You played great tracks. The clips from the tracks on that album. And if it was just kind of like that without so much of the vocal, it would have easily been 4 or maybe even higher, because the music just kicks ass. But the vocals just, not really my speed.
That's great. Well, and I agree, and I actually love the fact that you can pull the vocals out of it, and that was the start of that whole thing. And I
did listen to it without it, and it was pretty good.
I loved every minute of it. I want to just leave that on a loop. Yeah, that's another one that's like Underworld, Chemical Brothers, and Underworld too, but throw it out in the background, but it's just driving. It's like I got all wound up today when I was listening to it. It was great. I needed to do. Chuck, what do you think?
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, I remember on the text chat, like you were really enjoying it and other people were too. And I was like, what? I wasn't. But then I tried to take a cue from Mike and I wanted to re-listen to it before we did a recording. And I happened to pull down and I got like the remastered or something copy. And I was amazed at how much more I enjoyed listening to it. And then your samples tonight were unbelievable. Like you said, and other people said, the musicianship is extraordinary. It's just really hard for me to get past the vocals. Like they're really cheesy in the lyrics. But I mean, if I was judging it on the music alone, I'd probably give it a 4.5, but I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Nice. Okay.
But you still raise my score, and listening to it again raised my score.
Ryan raised my score too. And then we want to set the record straight about, Hangar 18. Apparently that's in Dayton, Ohio, but they took the bodies of the aliens from the Roswell crash and their spacecraft to there.
Okay.
Just in case, those alien people will fact check us.
So Hangar 18 is in Ohio?
They're all about facts.
Yeah, Dayton, Ohio, at Patterson Air Force Base.
And that must be what's featured on the cover.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Must be.
Yeah, that's what the military personnel look like after the exposure to the aliens.
Absolutely.
Probably. Oh, well, excellent, Ryan. Let's move on to
Wait, what did Ryan give it? I totally missed it.
4. And I didn't give it yet.
Oh, you didn't? I'm so sorry.
So I had everybody else's score.
Thank
I didn't
you.
have Ryan's score.
Brian, please talk about your rating.
I talked about the goddamn album.
He spent the last
He was too busy tripping over his own dick.
Why a 4? You know what? I absolutely, I adore the fact that this album came into my life through this whole process, and I'm totally getting caught out of left field on all these interesting albums. And there's a lot of albums that I'm listening to that I should like, and I really don't. And it's weird where you are at your life and all that kind of stuff, where these things will catch you off guard, and this is one of them. So I appreciate that.
Excellent. Thank you for elaborating on that. Okay, now to the album that I'm covering this week. It's a band called Ash. How many of you had heard of that band before?
No, not
I had.
Not I.
They were played on K-Rock back in the day. Sorry,
I
I'm
was
not
wondering
full of
that,
the
Jordan. I thought some of it sounded a little bit familiar, but we'll talk about that as we get into it. This is their debut album called 1977. That was a pretty good year, but it was released on May 6th, or as they say other places, 6 May 1996.
That's Jordan's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when I turned 18.
Wow. 1977?
Too much information here.
Was that the year you were born too? 1977?
Yes, I was born in No.
It's a good thing I don't have your social security number.
I'm glad you can do
born
math.
In 1977. Whatever. Don't take away from my review.
You brought it up.
Oh, you're right. Anyway, let's play a sample before we get too lost in this sauce. Yes. Anybody recognize that noise?
Sound like something from Star Wars.
TIE Fighter.
It was a TIE Fighter, and in fact, the album, 1977, they named it that because that was the year that Star Wars was released. Interesting. So we got Tim Wheeler and Mark Hamilton, not Mark Hamill, or whatever the Star Wars guy's name was.
Hamill.
But maybe that's why. That's why I was obsessed with him. But anyway, we are talking about that super hardcore, super heavy riff. They had already kind of started to become popular in the UK before this album's released. But what I want to ask you guys is, how did a bunch of teenagers, because these guys were super young at the time, how were they able to steal that sound from their album?
They probably didn't get permission.
They actually did have permission. It was totally used, but the label that they ended up getting signed for was owned by 20th Century Fox.
Oh, well, there you go.
A little, maybe mid-fun fact. Let's go on to the next track from a little bit farther in Lose Control. That's the opening track. So yeah, like this album kind of hooked me. I'd never heard it before, but I liked the kind of hooks. It reminded me of I'm not sure exactly what. Did any like other bands come to mind as you guys were listening to that?
Yeah.
Like what?
Green Day.
Green Day, yeah.
It's like Green Day mixed with Britpop a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that makes sense for the time that it was coming out. Yeah, I couldn't quite place it, but a couple of the tracks like were definitely brought to mind music that I had heard before. And then let's do the last sample from that particular track on Lose Control. I like that. I like that lead. I like the wah and stuff that they used in it. But one interesting, maybe mid to high fun fact was this song.
We're rating the temperature of the bit.
This song was used in the video game Gran Turismo.
Oh wow!
On the PlayStation,
and
this actually was the first infusion of money that they got as young teenagers playing in a band, and they were still in high school at the time.
That's dope.
Let's go on to the next track, Goldfinger. Very hooky. I like that one a little bit. This was produced by Owen Morris, who, another weird coincidence, was working on Oasis. Is what the story? What's the story?
That sounds the same.
Yeah.
The mixing. In fact, I think it sounds like crap. But
well, and it's funny that you say that because the band's frontman was not happy when the producer kind of showed them the rough mix, but then later on he kind of warmed to it. Let's play the next track on it. Maybe we can figure out why he warmed up to it. Yeah, apparently a lot of people like the way that was structured. I don't know about all that, but it definitely had some hooky stuff to me. Their most popular song. Oh, somebody can say something?
I was just going to say that I think that's probably one of the tracks that they played that got some radio play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And speaking of radio play, this next track, Girl from Mars, was probably their most popular off the album. Let's hear it. track got up to number 11 on the UK charts, and then they were on a show called Top of the Pops, music show. But since they were still teenagers, they performed on the show and then immediately had to go back to school the next day to take some tests and stuff, which had to be a weird feeling for them. Also, this song got super popular because it was used by NASA as the official morning wake-up song for the astronauts on the Space Shuttle Discovery during the mission.
That's a cool
in
fact.
fact, the NASA
That's a warm fact.
Feel bad for the astronauts.
the NASA nerds loved it so much that they had named a real-life asteroid after the band. Asteroid 21485 was officially named Ash.
Did these motherfuckers go on and do anything else?
These guys? No, not really. And they never got super popular in the U.S. I mean, they were pretty popular in the U.K. Their most popular claim to fame in the U.S. was they toured with Weezer.
Oh. That kind of checks out.
But yeah, they couldn't get over that whole Britpop label and a lot of the hurdles that a lot of British bands.
Well, hold on a second.
Yes?
How does that check out? Like, what do you mean by that?
Wait a second. Say that
You
again.
think they sound a lot like Weezer?
No,
they-
but
no,
it seems
no.
like that would be
They
a good
just-
opening band.
I don't know.
I was just curious.
That's a good question.
I wanted to know how it checked out. But,
Like how they found themselves touring together?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the two would pair nicely, like wine and cheese,
I mean, I don't know.
or a finger in a hole.
I mean, maybe that's a completely wrong fact, but
I dig my hole.
I didn't do too much fact checking on it. Anyway,
no, I'm not saying. I don't know. I reasonably enjoy Weezer, and I
Is everyone there?
I find this band
Yeah.
sort of tedious. So I just was
Can you
wondering
hear us, Jordan?
why
Yeah, it just
Ryan
went
connected
silent
the
for a
two.
second there after you said, well, anyway.
We hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think too much about it. The last track I have is called Kung Fu.
Strangers, friends are coming at you, and you think she loves you. Oh, damn, you sound made in Taiwan. Come on, Jackie Chan.
And you heard him mention Jackie Chan. This was in Jackie Chan's U.S. breakout movie, Rumble in the Bronx.
No kidding. That's awesome.
There's a lot of fun facts associated with this
Yeah.
band.
Too bad the music
But
sucks.
that's where the fun facts end. That's all I have for you about Ash and their 1977. I ended up, like I said, liking the poppy aspect of it, but not a lot of legs for me. I ended up at a 3.6 for this album. What about you, Chuck?
Well, I enjoyed your review. I like those first samples, especially. I was like, oh, that actually sounds sort of nice. But I don't know. I listened to this album, I think twice, and it was just kind of grating. Like to me, it wasn't really inventive. Nothing really stood out. The vocals were kind of obnoxious. I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to it a couple more times. If it's good enough for NASA, it should be good enough for me. But I'm going to give it a 2.5.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, they're just a bunch of high school kids. Jordan, what about you?
This album, I do remember it was a little bit of a time capsule because I'd heard these songs way back in the day and just hadn't heard them since. So when I heard, like Goldfinger, Go from Mars and Kung Fu, I definitely know I heard those on K-Rock way back in the day and found them pleasing back then. And they're still nice. It's like nice poppy tunes, but the album on the whole is just not that appealing to me. So it's 2.5 stars.
All right, let's go over to Jake.
Oh, thank you. Well, first, can we talk about the cover? It's pretty cool. I know there's probably several different versions out there, but the one that I have is that mirrored layout.
And you think it's cool?
I think so. It makes it hard to orient, like you can't really tell what's going on.
Well, I can
at
orient you
first.
right here. This is right around, I would say 1994, but this album came out in 96. So
Do you
you
feel
tell me
like-
what's going on.
Do you feel like you're in the K-hole?
Yeah, something like that.
I dig my hole.
Very dated. Very dated.
I just think it creates that level of confusion and I like the way it makes you feel like you're really having to
You like
dig
being
in
confused?
deep to it. I mean, it gives you a feeling, right? It elicits some kind of emotion when you're looking at it. And I had to look several times, but it just kind of makes you feel like things are spinning out of control. And when you said they're teenagers, it kind of fits the mark, right? It has that perfect, teenage, life at full speed, everyone's against you and, everything's the end of the world. I got all that out of the cover. So,
So what's your rating?
My bad. 3 stars. 3 stars. 3 stars.
Three stars.
All right.
Wow, that's pretty high.
That's great. Yeah.
Glad you like the cover.
And Ryan, what about you?
So I was going to give this a 2. Your review has changed my mind significantly on several of those facts, like them being teenagers, and some of the fun facts like NASA. And we just, got to the furthest part in space that humans have ever gotten today, which is really cool to me.
Amazing.
I'm very much a space geek.
Whoa.
Who's doing that? Who's someone looking at some porn on the
Wasn't
side here?
Okay,
My
dig
bad,
my hole.
sorry. I was trying to look at the Ash album cover.
That's
Sorry about
sure.
That's what the kids are calling it.
I typed in Ash, I swear.
I was. Jake was talking. I was like, wow.
Teenage
he's really into
Ash.
the
Let me
cover.
see.
Asshole. What an asshole.
This is not underage Ash. Anyways.
That's funny.
So what'd you give it?
I'm going to give it a 2.6.
2.6.
Can I lower mine?
Yeah, I want to lower mine too. I got
seems really
carried
high
away
now.
Well,
with
it's
my
too
own
late. It's in the
review.
books. It's
I
already
sorta
averaged out.
No.
I sort of like you being more generous, Jake.
Ash
Can we
mine
pause
out.
it?
I
Can
want
we
a
pause it and then
3.2.
restart it.
No,
And-
No,
3.2.
everybody's score is official.
I'm going to 3.2.
No, it's already 3.6, and I've averaged
No,
the
that's too
scores.
high.
It's done.
It's way too high.
You're too
Done.
high.
You were high when you gave it the first score, and that's
Oh God. Oh no.
you got to deal with the
That's on
repercussions, Mike. It's
record.
called
We're
consequences.
gonna do a whole. We're gonna do a whole episode.
All right, whatever. Let's just
Wait,
move
you're from
on.
Northern Ireland. I'm going to change my score too. No.
Wait, can you be Catholic in Northern Ireland, or is it
Well, you
Protestant?
can. You can be a loyalist or a
Which one will get you killed?
See, we're a Protestant family.
both. Back in the day.
We
Okay.
can wear a Jimmy cap.
All right, let's go on to the last album of the evening, Odelay.
Odelay!
All right,
Yes.
and that is for me. And the name, Odelay. Does anyone know where that name comes from?
I think it's the
Orale.
Mexicans.
Odelay, yeah.
Órale, vato.
It's spelled a little differently with an R, Odelay. But anyway, so
Orale.
it's just like a sort of phonetic spelling of it, and it's a play off of that, which is fun fact, right? Maybe not so fun. Okay, moving on.
Definitely fun. I like that fact.
This album came out, again, this is another 1996 album. This came out in June 18th, 1996. And it became the breakthrough album for Beck in a lot of ways. So it had the big singles, Where It's At, Devil's Haircut, The New Pollution. And it went all the way up to number 16 on the Billboard charts and sold, over 2.3 million copies. So for an artist who had done, Loser, Mellow Gold, and, One Foot in the Grave, this is kind of like a big commercial leap forward and also an artistic leap. But it didn't start out that way. So in the beginning, he was planning to do an acoustic album. And let's go ahead and hear the first sample we got there, Nashville, Ramshackle.
You've been so long, your blind eyes are gone, your old bones are on their own. So take off your coat, put a song.
So this is the last track on Odelay. It's called Ramshackle, and this is the actual only remaining song that made it to the album that, was from the first incarnation of what later became Odelay. So it was going to be an acoustic album with different producers, and then he decided, I'm going to change direction on this one, and I'm going to do something that's a little bit different. And let's go ahead and, just give a little sample of what that difference was. You can hear it. I love that long intro there, and then this the way that the layering all kicks in, and that is courtesy of the Dust Brothers, who had been mentioned earlier before, and why the Chemical Brothers couldn't be called the Dust Brothers.
Oh.
Yes, so it all loops back around, right? So They had, they famously had done Paul's Boutique, which is like one of the most layered hip hop albums ever, which is sample after sample. So, this was, I think, kind of perfect for Beck at this time to work with producers who were just so eclectic and pulling from all these different sources and just sort of making like a collage of sounds that was just so funky and so groovy. And, it definitely had that hip hop tinge because they'd also worked with like artists like Tone Loc and Young MC and stuff like that. So it was kind of an interesting mix for someone coming from more of like the folky kind of lo-fi world to, work with producers like the Dust Brothers. So let's hear the second clip we got from Where It's At.
What about those who swing both ways, AC/DCs?
So even those lyrics, the two turntables and a microphone, he's leaning into that, hip hop kind of aesthetic pretty heavily with that one. And you can just hear an immediate difference between that and Ramshackle. And I'm sure that the other album would have been pretty amazing in its own right, but I don't think we would be talking about that album necessarily today because I don't know it would be on this list. Next one, we've got Devil's Haircut. Let's go ahead.
Something's wrong cause my mind is fading, and everywhere I look there's a dead end waiting. Temperatures dropping at the rotten oasis, stealing kisses from the leprous faces.
So it's kind of got that 60s sort of flair to it. You can picture Austin Powers dancing to this in the shower a little bit, and it's kind of taken what was going on with Where It's At and kind of like pushing it in a more up-tempo, even more heavily heavily layered type of sound. Let's hear the second sample off of Devil's
Buses, hitching a ride with the bleeding noses, coming to town with the briefcase blues. Got a devil's haircut in my mind. Got a devil's haircut.
Dig those drum beats. Let's move on to the next one. We got the New Pollution. We got the New Pollution.
She's got a cigarette on each arm. She's got the lily white cavity crazes. She's got a carburetor tied to the moon.
Yeah, so that one, like those drums are just, just fantastic. They just pop and it's just kind of really hooky and fantastic song. I'm just wondering, is everybody still here? Everyone in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the most
enjoying
silent
your
sort of
samples
review.
and enjoying.
Sorry, I went to the bathroom.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Because
Jake
normally
had his
people
dick
like
in his hand.
interject or like, smart asses or something. And I just got to check, make sure everyone's still breathing.
No, you're on, right on
We're
par
kind
so
of-
far, man.
We're
Well,
getting,
I mean-
we're getting to that age,
Listening
listening
to you and listening to the samples, the thought crossed my mind. Like, like I never thought that he's sort of like crooner meets MC. He's got these like hip hop beats,
Absolutely.
but he's like, and I didn't pick that up all the hundreds of times I've listened to it before.
Well,
But
and
go
it's
ahead.
got that
That's
60s flair
Yeah.
too. Like there's a bunch
Yeah.
of the weird, like you feel like you're in Palm Springs, that kind of
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like a crooner with hip hop beats.
Right. So,
No, Beck's not gay, is he?
no.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, I
I
mean,
was wondering why he was in Palm
Everyone's a
Springs.
little gay.
you're allowed to go to Palm Springs even if you're not gay.
I go there
They
all the
passed the
time.
regulation that made that possible. Yeah.
That's not what I was told.
Yeah, so it's, you can like
I went there as a
architecture
lot
and
as a
palm trees and
child,
stuff.
a small boy.
That
All right,
is
moving
my
on.
fault.
So, speaking of disturbing, do you mind if we actually go back to the very beginning with the do-do-do-do?
Yes.
Real quick on this one. So when I was in college, a freshman, I was forced to take this digital art class that I was very much against because I did not, buy into digital art at the time, sort of against my artistic principles, but I had to do this class. And then we got to do this animation, and that's where it kind of got interesting for me. So I used that intro portion, and I had this picture of Elvis Costello from My Aim Is True, and I pasted like this like big kind of Ronald McDonald-y sort of smile over it. And the cover is in black and white, so the red smile just really stood out. And I had it just sort of like in this jerky motion, like coming forward, and then looked at you, turned its head to the side, and then like waved.
That's creepy.
And it like really creeped out some people in the class. And I remember this one girl, very straight laced, kind of Long Island girl, and like she was so disturbed, like she couldn't get over, like during the critique, like she just kept going, like I'm gonna have nightmares. You know, so, like,
And you're like, yes.
so I was just like, perfect
Success.
impact. Yes. All right, and let's move on now. So let's go. We're going to play a little game here. Okay, so I'm going to play a sample here. So this is going to be the first non-Odelay sample, Ryan, if you know what I'm saying. Is that cool?
You're going to skip the last clip on that?
Yeah, I am. Let's just move ahead. Sorry about that.
No
Don't
problem.
mean to throw you off too much. But let's go ahead and hear the first sample that's not from Odelay.
Oh, hold on.
And we'll get that. I'm sorry, I messed everything up because I'm
Oh,
doing things
man.
out of order, you know, being impulsive. And,
Here we go.
You know. What is this? What the heck is this?
Yeah.
This is not right.
Sounds like Beck.
There's
Yeah.
a night
This is not the right version, dude.
A tribute to Bob Dylan.
This is.
That's funny.
It's supposed to be by
Even
them.
It is by them. It is by
That's
them.
not them, dude.
It's totally them.
It's them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another
Is it
them.
It's another
THAM? Like,
Yeah, it's them. It's
That's
just
one of my bands in high school.
okay. Well, the one that actually had Van Morrison in it. That them?
it's them. It's a straight up sample from them.
Well, there's
Oh my
another
God!
band
Could you
called
just play
them.
the
So
The old version of it. Yeah.
yes, the old
This is
version?
going
Did you
really
give him
bad.
a link?
Them? No, this is fun. This is
No,
where
he didn't
the
give me
excitement
a
happens.
link. He
fun.
just
Oh, you
yeah.
didn't give him a link?
it's literally the song and the title of the
But Ryan,
song.
I'm telling you, there's another
I
one
know
that
there
exists.
is.
Should've given him
I
a
know
link.
there is.
what album is that?
Come on,
Jordan. Actually,
what-
I own it. Hold on.
You got to provide links.
Get your stuff together, man.
I'm sorry.
My
My bad. Can we cut
Can you
this part
skip
out?
The song?
No, we can't. We can never cut this part out.
There you go.
There we
There's
go.
the original one.
Oh, it's so much better.
Hold on. Wait.
Right here.
All right. So
I hope that was all worth it.
that was totally worth it.
Great track, man. Come on.
Them by Van Morrison. or
Yes,
Van
them
Morrison.
with Van Morrison in the bed. So
Is it them with Van Morrison?
I'm
got
just
it.
wondering, does anybody
Yes.
recognize that sample?
Yes.
And what song did Beck use that for?
Oh.
I think it's them.
I can't remember the name.
Drifting.
Well, I could think of it. Jackass.
Jackass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the titles.
I don't. I'm
So-
horrible.
So that was from
love that
Jackass. Let's
song.
go ahead and hear a little bit of Jackass.
Well, you just
Oh, jeez. Sounds the same.
seriously, this is one of my favorite songs to sing
That's really cool.
But
in my
Sing
range.
The Beck song?
Yeah, I love singing that song.
this
For karaoke?
For anything, for fucking driving
For
home,
fucking?
I'll put it on.
For digging his hole? For any of it, you know? Phones there.
Polishing those headlights.
No, but you know when you're really
no one
tired?
sings while they're fucking.
Ben.
Come on.
Yeah, who would do that?
No.
That's just weird.
Oh yeah, you know, maybe I need to try that. But the point is, when you're falling asleep and you're driving in a car, I love to put on music to sing. This is one of those songs that I'll put on to sing, and it keeps me up.
Well, in that case, let's go ahead and hear the next clip from
Keep
this
them
song.
up.
I'll put it together. It's a strange invitation.
And this song's definitely in my range too. It's one of the things I
I
really appreciate
want to
about
make
this.
a quick note.
Yes.
That the guy who doesn't put a lot on vocals uses singing for sleep deprivation. just want to put that out there. Go ahead. Sorry.
What's weird about that? That's only to keep
Nothing.
me
I
up.
thought that was an interesting
Well, no,
correlation.
the vocals annoy him so much that his own vocals really piss him off and
Seriously.
then keeps him awake. He
Give us-
can't sleep when he's so angry.
Just
Give
like
us a taste, Ryan. Give us
yeah,
a
can you
taste of
sing-
what it sounds like.
I've been Drifting along in the same stale shoes.
I like that.
Is that, that is in your range.
That does turn me on.
That's some
a little
blue-eyed
bit.
soul right there.
I'm hard right now.
Yeah, those are good for sex.
Were you in the Righteous Brothers?
Forget what I said.
All right, so this game has been going so perfectly. We're going to go for round 2.
All right, round 2.
This is great.
Don't worry, there's only 20 rounds.
This is going to be a shorter episode.
So this is round 2, the second and last round. Okay, so the other non-album track. Let's go ahead and give that a listen. Does anyone
Bruce Hack sample?
Does anyone recognize that funky sample?
It's a Bruce Hack, right?
Bruce Hack?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was Dick Hyman, real name. Dick Hyman.
really?
Yeah,
That's
that's his
not
name.
his real name.
Definitely digs holes, this guy.
New ones?
I'd love to. Go ahead.
That's a great joke.
New holes?
Brand new
Oh, I
holes.
love that joke, man.
Awesome. You nailed it, too.
We're going to hell.
You really just went for it. It worked, dude.
Was it because of that?
Yeah, anyway, so, right. So, do we recognize that from Beck? Let's actually, I'm really sorry about this. Could we just play the Beck song from the beginning? Sissy Neck.
From the very beginning. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that,
man.
dude. See, because I got to get the whistle in there.
Awesome.
So, yeah, he took that sample from, or the Dust Brothers took it from Dick Hyman's classic album, Moog, The Electronic Electrics of Dick Hyman. Oh, you should look this up. Jake, if you like album covers, this one's going to just
yeah?
Yeah, you're going to cream your pants when you see this one.
Too late,
gotta
man.
see
With
this.
all that singing.
Oh, man.
But it goes back to our NASA themes and all that. They're like, it looks like the moon lander's there, and then like Dick Hyman has just like been cut and pasted like, I don't know, 10 times all over the surface of it. And you know, one of them he's actually they're almost all reverse negative except for one, and it's just super cool. But anyway, that album is really fun if you want to, you know,
What's the name
listen
of
to
that
some
album,
Moog music. It's called Moog, The Electrics of Dick Hyman.
God, it's so appropriate for the moon thing right now, too.
Yeah.
God damn,
It
that's
is.
a good album cover.
It's
I
a
agree.
fantastic album cover. So yeah, anyhow, Sissy Neck took that and then just made it much funkier, much fuller. Let's go ahead and hear. Let's skip the first clip and just do the second clip B if you can off of Sissy Neck. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm throwing you for big loops here.
Sitting in the jailhouse trying to learn some good manners. I got a stolen wife and a rhinestone life and some
Good old boy.
So he took that, made it funky, made it country. It's just like this whole mix. He like genres don't matter. Like with the Chemical Brothers, you know, it's just break down those barriers. Beck was doing that too, breaking down those barriers. And you know, he's kind of one of the earlier country hip hoppers in a way. You know, and I know it's a big thing these days with. Who do the kids listen to? Shabuzi? Is that it? He's the first Shabuzi.
Well, I tell you what, his lyrics are very clever. I think
yeah.
Beck's lyrics are some of the best.
And you know, I think you're right, Ryan. One of the things that I probably really have always appreciated about Beck is a lot of those songs are in my range. I can sing it. I can't sing it all, but you know, I can follow along with Beck pretty well.
It's fun. It's just fun. This album is fucking fun.
Oh yeah.
This was his debut, right?
No.
No, it's like his fifth album.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's cool. Don't worry about it. I even mentioned
right.
before
It's
it was
the
not his
debut
first. I
for
named
you.
two previous
Talking about
albums
Beck.
earlier. You know, totally cool because I know you're with me. You know.
Oh, he's too busy holding his dick.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay. So
It's his breakout album, though.
yeah,
wouldn't
it's a
you
big
say?
time breakthrough album because he had
Well,
gained
yeah,
notoriety from Loser,
Loser,
prior
but,
to that.
I mean, the single. I mean, no one really listened. What's
I had
else?
the single on cassette for
yeah,
Loser.
nice. Well, Mellow Gold is a great album.
It is.
it is,
Beer
yeah.
can and it's
Yeah,
got some
but it
great
just
tracks.
wasn't. Motherfucker's a good song. Everyone's out to get you, motherfucker.
I remember
a good song.
all of us listening, or no, Jake and Mike and I listening to that on the way back from a camping trip where I experienced some great things, you know, with the psychedelics. So, you know, That's a very solid memory in my head.
Is that right?
Just
Tried
wanted to
knock
break
the
that
tree
out.
down?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And it popped out into the woods, and then all of a sudden, all these flowers appeared. It was fucking magical.
It really was.
And that was thanks to listening to Beck, right?
It was.
Well, we
Beck
listened
was
to
the
Up and
mushrooms.
Back.
Said no, we don't.
That
do
and the
those
mushrooms,
things.
right?
We don't
No
do
one does
mushrooms.
drugs.
Yeah, mushrooms are legal. What are you talking about?
I did mushrooms. What are you talking about?
Not me.
Not me. No,
Not me, I would know
He
he's the
sat in the
driver.
We do
tent.
not support or
Designated
endorse
driver.
the use of sex.
He was a
Yeah,
designated
we
driver.
do.
I have no.
All right,
doesn't
so I'm going to
have
bring
to
it back
be
to my
drugs.
conclusion here, folks.
Oh, your
so,
conclusion.
That was tripping
This-
down memory
The
lane.
40-minute album review.
right, this was my absolute favorite album at the time when this came out. Like,
Yeah.
I just loved it. I was all about it, and just like I listened to this all the time. And there's something you can like discover every time you listen because there's so many layers going on. But on a personal note, for about 2 years at least, every single day, literally every day, someone would tell me that I look like Beck. I was hearing this all the time. And it first happened because this came out like right after we graduated high school, except for Jake because he's old. But so we, like I was hanging out with a friend and then she just had this magazine and she's like, huh, you kind of look like this guy. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe a little bit. And that was the first time. And then I literally every single day for like a couple years, every day. Because I happened to be wearing like a lot of thrift store clothes, skinny white guy, had like sort of floppy hair, like all that going
You
on.
could have shaved your head. It just, avoided it.
That's
all.
true. Nobody
But I
would have
wasn't,
said that.
I'm me. How could I, like, it's not fair. That was me. And, I happened to look like him. But one of the best, because I remember even like Chuck's dad was saying, like, doesn't that looks like your friend, like when he was watching the video or something like that. But the best one, like, you were there, Chuck. We were at
Yeah.
Disneyland. We
The
got on the
Jungle
Jungle
Boat
Boat cruise. Chuck, yeah, that's right. And so, the ride operators, for those of you who are not familiar with Disneyland, the Jungle Boat cruise operator is like
Who's
always
that?
some sort of comedian, right? And they're going on the loudspeaker. They're just making announcements to everybody getting on the boat. And then the guy pauses. He looks back and he goes, hey, everybody, look, it's Beck. Hey, Beck, do the robot. And he just said going on and on. And
Some
I'm just,
tourists took photos of Jordan.
tourists were taking photos. And this is when you had to use actual film. They were wasting film to take photos of me.
Someone's got negative evidence of this.
Yeah,
somewhere.
someone's got evidence. It's like this little like white kid just going, sitting in the corner of the boat. But
Did you do the robot?
no, Chuck would kept
should
like
own
going,
it.
hey, do it. These days I would probably do the robot, but back then I was a little too self-conscious.
He got a little annoyed, let's put it that way.
Yeah, because
I
he
can
wouldn't
see
he
the
wouldn't let
pouting.
up, and I think because I probably fed into it by getting annoyed. If I had like been playing along, it would have just been good fun. Everyone could clap. But no, I was getting angry, and so the guy's like, "Oh, this is fun. I'm going to keep going." But anyhow, that's that. 5 stars. So let's go. I'm going to go in order from the top here. Let's go with Chuck.
Yeah, I love this album when I was younger. I still like it. It's not my favorite Beck
So
album.
let's move on. Let's go down to.
No, I mean, like in the samples you picked, I really enjoyed those. There are some times the album can get a little tedious here and there, which I didn't find when I was younger. I sort of like that raw, like punkier elements of the album. But Beck is Beck. He's amazing. He's creative. He's always pushing boundaries. 4.5.
Oh, that's still pretty good. Pretty solid. Jake, what about you?
Well, the cover's pretty cool with that fluffy dog there. I mean, come on, how cute is that dog? Oh my god, it's
Very cute
amazing.
dog.
So
It
Yeah.
moves on Spotify. The hair.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's cool. It's so cool. But love Beck. Loved your breakdown. I thought, man, it was way too long.
It
but
was short, but it's sweet.
But it was really funny. It was really funny. Had a good time with it. I love it. And I think a part of what I really enjoy about this album and about Beck in general is he's able to redefine genres and I think that's what he did with this album, that he gave us a sound that we hadn't really heard before on a rock album, and with all of his all the sampling and splicing and reshaping and all the stuff. I mean, he's just such a freaking amazingly talented artist, and I love it. 5 stars all the way.
Nice. And
Wow.
thanks for keeping it short, too.
I know that was almost as long as Jordan's whole review.
Let's move on to Mike.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Chuck on this one. Obviously I appreciate the genius of Beck, but a couple songs don't go into the 5-star range for me. 4.8.
That's still a solid score. All right,
yeah.
Ryan.
5 stars. I saw him on this tour.
Oh, nice.
One of my
Saw him
favorite.
on this tour?
I would have loved to have seen him on
Wow.
this tour.
Universal Amphitheater. It was the trade for the U2 tickets.
It's a great
The
venue.
ex-girlfriend at the time bought me the U2, and I bought her these.
If you want to hear more,
You
about the
came up and we
Universal
watched
Amphitheater.
Sex Laws, right? In Santa Barbara?
Whoa.
That was a Beck album, by the way, Jake.
Oh,
No?
Or a song, at least.
Am I told?
well, tune
I-
into
I
our
many of those
favorite
mushrooms
concerts
check.
to
I
hear
would've
more
loved to
about
have saw
sex
this tour.
laws
Cool.
and other
That was Dewan.
great songs.
No, I don't think I did go up there, and but I know we saw him at This Ain't No Picnic.
Yep.
And
Chuck, you and I saw him. He's doing this country stuff at the El Rey
that
or whatever it was.
El Rey show
Yeah.
was really dope.
Oh yeah, no, it was the turntablist and just his aura, and it was good seats, and it was Universal Amphitheater. It was fucking amazing.
If you want to
show.
hear more about the Universal Amphitheater, tune in to our specials about our
I
favorite
still haven't
concerts.
mixed yet. I'm sorry.
All right, Jordan, where'd we end up this week with the ratings?
All right, so pulling up the tail end, we have Ash with 2.84 stars. Coming in after that, we got the Pixies with 3.44. Right in the middle, we got Megadeth, 3.58. Second place, Chemical Brothers, 4.18, which means first place, we got Beck with 4.86 stars.
Amazing. Great work, gentlemen. That's all we have for you this week on 1001 Albums, or whatever we're called. Album Odyssey, 1001 Album. Anyway, what you should do is check us out on Instagram
Actually, TikTok would be better.
and our newest, I was going to say that.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
And our
What did you
newest-
mention, TikTok?
and our newest format, Snapchat. I mean, my TikTok.
MySpace. Find us now on MySpace.
Find us anywhere that you find things. Have a great week.